Hey guys, what's up? Tim Queen here, and today we're going to talk about LinkedIn ads versus LinkedIn content marketing, which one works better and which one is more cost efficient for your business. Let's find out. Let's start with LinkedIn ads first. What you need to know about LinkedIn ads is that LinkedIn ads are really expensive. When I'm talking about expensive, we're talking primarily cost per click. So depending on who you're targeting, for example, by role title, geolocation, the industry of the company, or the headcount of the company, the cost per click can be very significant. It can range anywhere between I've seen it as high as $20 per click. That means whenever someone sees your ad from your target audience and they click on your ad to go to your website or to your lead capture form, you have to pay this cost per click, independent of if they actually submit their contact details or just want to browse around and check out or not. This is not a cost per lead. So what you have to consider is how many clicks does it take to get one lead. And from experience, I can tell you it can take anywhere between 100 to 500 clicks to get one lead. So let's calculate the ROI of a typical LinkedIn campaign. For simplicity, let's assume that you have bid $10 per click for your ad campaign, and we're assuming you have to attract at least 200 clicks to get one lead on your lead capture form. That means that you have to spend at least $2,000 per lead. Now this number in and by itself doesn't tell us much. Now we have to calculate how profitable would a LinkedIn campaign be. To calculate that, let's assume that 5% of all of our leads will turn into a sale. Now if you take $2,000 and you divide it by 5%, you get the cost per acquisition. In our case, this will be $40,000. Now, it could be more, it could be less, depending on where you are targeting people, depending on what role titles, geographic, industry you're working in. But this is a good guideline to give you a hint of what kind of budget we're talking about. And if you have to spend $40,000 to get one new customer, your product or service obviously has to have at least that much of a profit margin. Otherwise, you will lose money running LinkedIn ads. So if your average profit per customer on their first sale is $1 million and you have to spend 40,000, by all means, LinkedIn ads is one of the best platforms to generate a ton of sales for your company. But if you're trying to sell $1,000 worth of social media marketing on LinkedIn ads, you will run out of budget before you get your first customer on your list. Now, depending on your business model, you might also go by lifetime value. For example, you might say, maybe I'm not generating 40,000 on my first sale, but I can afford it because the average order volume over the lifetime of a customer might be like a few $100,000. But in that case, you have to have the budget to run the campaign long enough to actually generate that much revenue over the lifetime. So if you can't afford to wait like a couple of months, a couple of years until you break even, then you should also stay away from LinkedIn ads. Now let's talk about content marketing on the other hand. Content marketing works by creating content, and the content has to be valuable for a potential customer specifically. So the idea is we are creating content that is very relevant to an ideal customer. So nobody else is really interested in reading one of our articles, watching one of our videos, or viewing one of our posts. But ideal customers are. And now by providing free value through content to our ideal customers, we are hoping to convert them to followers of our page, of our personal profiles, and maybe even joining our email list. Once someone follows us or subscribe to our channel or is subscribed to our email list, it's very easy to build trust over a longer period of time. You can always send out an email, you can always publish another post, and the more impressions someone sees of you, the more value they're perceiving, the better they remember your name, the more they have absolute clarity about your expertise and the products and services that you're offering, and they clearly understand how you might be able to help them with their specific challenge. And through that trust building process, It's a very, very, very cost-effective method to build trust. Now, the way I would set up content marketing on LinkedIn is that you're creating a content strategy based on content pillars. And those content pillars are content groups that are specifically linked to specific problems, challenges, and goals of your ideal customers. Now, by providing value to all of those content buckets, you make it very easy for people to never get bored by the content that you're publishing on LinkedIn. Now, each piece of content has to be structured in a specific way. You need a hook at the beginning of each content piece. That can be in video the first 10 seconds of your video, where you're clearly communicating the value to an ideal customer of watching this video, or it could be the first few lines of your text if you're going for text posts or articles. Now, once someone has read the article and have perceived this value, you need to finish each social media post on LinkedIn with a call to action. I recommend something like following you, followed by a list of topics that you're talking about on LinkedIn. You can also offer a free lead magnet where someone can download like a white paper or like an ebook to get more information in exchange for their email address. Just put this at the end of your message or put it into the comment section, so it's very easy for people to find and to understand that they can get additional resources if they so choose to. Now, the cost of content marketing is just time. So depending on how much you value your own time, you have to then look how much time does it take you to create one piece of content. One of the most efficient ways to generate content at the lowest possible rate is to create content in bulk. If you write written content, you want to sit down and have a writing session where you write a couple of posts in one go. The most difficult post to create is always the first one. That takes the most amount of time to get into the writing flow or to get into the filming flow. But once you have got this out of the way, it's much easier to write the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth post. So by creating more content in bulk session, you then have the opportunity to schedule your content in advance. You don't have to make time every morning when you might be working on an important project. You can just schedule a session, create content in bulk, maybe like a couple of hours, and then you have the content for the next couple of weeks ready. You're putting everything into your scheduling app, and then you're checking in like once per day to engage in the comments that have been left under your social media post. You can also consider reaching out to some people who have asked interesting questions that indicate that they might be fairly close to being ready to buy from you, and to have conversations one-to-one over personal messages on LinkedIn. The most important factor to remember when you're doing content marketing on LinkedIn is you need to have patience, especially when you're just starting out. You probably don't have an audience of engaged followers yet. Starting on LinkedIn will be slow, but if you at least be willing to invest like 6 to 12 months, you will see results fairly quickly. I recommend to post at least 2 to 3 times per week, and then you can experiment with different content formats. If you're a more writing person, try text-written posts, maybe attach like an image or a document every once in a while. Or if you're happy to explore video, you can also record a couple of videos, how I'm doing just right now. With content marketing on LinkedIn, it's also very easy to get economies of scale working in your favor. Once you start getting more and more people in your audience, you get networking effects. So every post that you initially maybe only got 100 views might after a while get 500, 1,000 or 2,000 views. Then what happens is, because you're building content specifically to your ideal customers, you will get a very targeted audience. So what happens is ideal customers are often connected to other ideal customers. So when someone of them is engaging by liking your post, by leaving a comment, asking a question in the comment section, or sharing this, it will also be shown to some of their networks. So you're getting those exponential growth potential with every post you're publishing. The better the post, the higher the potential to go viral among your ideal audience of ideal clients. You will also notice over time, some people will forward your message, like in a private message, and you might even get some introduction. You might get followers out of nowhere because someone recommended you as an industry thought leader to follow. This is a little bit like an avalanche. The more you publish, the longer you stay around, the more people will recommend you and your content to others. So once you're getting into the range of attracting between 500 to 10,000 views, you will notice that you will get a steady stream of signups for your contact form or for your lead magnet. Then you can attach this to like an email sequence where you have like an automated sequence of introductory emails where you can build trust further, or you can have one-to-one conversation in direct messages or via email or over the phone. If you really want to take advantage of LinkedIn, create a content strategy for your entire company and give everyone the time to create content every week. If you have one person, it might take you a couple of months. If you have 10 people, you might get results even earlier. Now, if you want to learn how to build a complete content strategy from scratch for your business, you can also check out my LinkedIn Accelerator program. I'm going to put the link down in the description and into the pinned comment below. I also highly recommend that you download my free LinkedIn hashtag guide, which teaches you how to find the right hashtags to grow organically and to attract the right people by choosing the right hashtags relevant to your niche. If you want to get more videos about LinkedIn, make sure that you subscribe, turn notification bell on and smash the like button. And I see you soon. Bye.